everyone, it's Desiree, and for today's card, I'm going to be using the Color Me Beautiful rubber stamp tapestry, and we're going to create a wreath using this die. Now, what I love about this, I'm using my VersaFine ink because I'm going to be using my watercolor pencils. Actually, not watercolor pencils, my Inktense pencils. And I'm going to use, I always start with the larger peg stamp and go down to the smallest. So I started with the larger flower, and you can see that it's open, so it's got a lot of possibilities. Didn't worry about the shape too much. I just knew that I was going into this oval. This is going to be a landscape type card that I'm making. And you're actually going to see two panels that I made because for some reason, either I didn't hit the record button or my phone stopped recording, of course, while I was showing a big part of it. So yeah, okay. Started with the larger flowers, then came in with the green. And the colors that I'm using, I used my black VersaFine for the large flowers. I used Wild Lilac from Gina K on the smaller ones, Innocent Pink for the little dots going around, and then Jelly Bean Green for the greens coming around. You can see here, I'm just adding a little bit of, no, I did not use my Inktense. I am so sorry. I did use watercolor pencils. I am so sorry. I'm actually using my Arteza watercolor pencil, and I'm using Blueberry for the color. I am so sorry about that. I'm just adding color to the outside. I'm coming in with a brush and a little bit of water and just moving that color down. I want the center to have the highlight, to have that white, so I'm not pulling it all the way down. The cardstock that I am using is Bristol Vellum cardstock, Bristol Vellum cardstock. I have it written here. This is an awesome video, yes. And I'm just filling that in. So they're soft because I chose soft colors around it. I love those colors. So you can see the two panels because the first one that I did not hit record. Yes. So we've got two. Two for the price of one. I pulled out my Distress Dauber, the embossing ink dauber. I love this thing. And I'm going to use my Distress Embossing Powder. This is weathered wood that I am using. I'm looking at it to just make sure. Yes, it's very close to, or maybe it's speckled egg. Didn't write that one down. So sorry. But you can see what the beauty is. I love these embossing powders. They're translucent. So I can go back over this section and fill in the areas that I feel I missed or doesn't look normal. So the areas where it's missing, it's going to be darker, but still translucent, and then lighter on the edges. Now, for some reason, was not sure why that area was becoming a rectangle. It was really odd. So I just came in with my pen, my VersaFine pen, and just filled it in so that I could add some of the powder to it so that it would melt. And you can see you've got this different variation. You can still see what you stamped underneath it, which is what I absolutely love. I am not worried about that little tiny rectangle there because we are going to cover that up with our sentiment. I'm trimming down these panels with my trimmer. They're going to be trimmed down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then they are going to be placed on Simon Says Fog 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 mats. So you can see I'm just eyeballing to get down to that measurement to keep this oval shape that we've created in the center. Again, I don't measure. I just know that the final measurement was 4 by 5 1/4. Here I'm coming in with my fog and I'm going to place those onto that mat. I'm going to use my U-line 2-inch film tape, double-sided. This is very strong tape, but because I did add a little bit of water to this panel, I just want to make sure that it does go flat. And by using this tape, I always pull this out when I do use watercolor paper or Bristol, and I've used water basically on that because it will warp. Or if I do heavy embossing and it really warps, that's when I'll pull that tape out. It's a very strong tape, and I like to say that it is unforgiving, meaning the moment it touches paper, it's there. So make sure you're lining your papers up to make sure that they go where you would want them to go. Mine, 9 out of 10, always do go on crooked, so I'm okay with it. And then if it's that bad, I'll just trim around it and create another mat. I'm going to do the same thing to the second one that we have created and just line that up. And I'm only going to put the sentiment on one of the cards. And the sentiment that I'm going to use is thank you. And it's a Simon Says die. And I just like the way it looks. You can actually offset it. And that's what I did for this. Whenever I also use this tape, I also do put it on the mat as well to give it that double bond to flatten out the cards. I already have my sentiment die cut and layered. I cut this 3 times from 80-pound cardstock, and now I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive and place that right in the center. Again, the thank is going to sit on one side, and then I'm going to have the U down onto the other side. And that is our project for today. So having some fun with those translucent Distress Embossing Powders and having fun with our stamps and creating a different shape for the front of our card in no time. Hope you enjoyed today's project. I will have the supplies that I used listed down below. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't yet, love for you to subscribe, so hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you know when the next video is ready for you to watch. Enjoy your time, have fun with this process, and always know you're creating art, no matter what you are creating. But always remember what's most important. Always be creative, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Till then.